What if it goes better than you thought? So back in March, when I was getting this office, I was thinking to myself about, okay, how am I going to pay it off? What if this? What if that? What if this? What if that? And then I said, Lawrence, just do it. So I book a tour and I was getting a co-working space. So there's other desks in this room because there are other people who rent this room. And I was thinking to myself about, well, what if they come in and how am I going to be able to get time for me to record my video without interrupting them? Turns out they never come here. And it all worked out so much better than I could have ever imagined. In the last 4 months, they have not been here a single day. I have a room that's a co working office, but I have the features of a private office because they're not here. I have this entire room to myself. And I'm just thinking about how a lot of times in life we hold ourselves back from our blessings because we're so worried about, but what if this goes wrong? And what if that goes wrong? And what if that? But what if it goes better than you could have ever imagined? Because for those you don't know, my name is Lawrence Harris. I'm a youth empowerment speaker. And I spent the last 4 years specializing in helping teen young adults build self love, confidence, and a positive outlook on life. In addition to that, I'm also an author. You can find my books below. And if you'd like to bring me on your podcast or in for a speaking engagement, you can find my email address below. And about 20 minutes before recording this, I actually went on a podcast. It's called Life and Leadership. When that comes out, you guys will be seeing clips and hearing about it. But as I was on it, I was thinking to myself about this idea of how we often worry a lot more than we should. We often think so much about the negative what ifs and the issues and the thing that could go wrong rather than thinking about what can go right. Because I can think about many times in my life when the fear of action stopped me from succeeding. When the fear of going for it and doing something stopped me. Because I'm human. Don't let the suit fool you. I am human just like anybody else. And we have this thing called a negativity bias where it's our brain's way of focusing on all the bad things to keep us safe, to keep us from dying. Because we have the same brains as we did hundreds of thousands of years ago when we were running around in caves. And back then, the fear of judgment meant if you get kicked out of the tribe, you have to fight the lions by yourself. But if the tribe accepts you, then they'll help you to not get eaten by lions. But the problem comes now where unless you're living in like the middle of tribal Africa, and I'm not referring to like well developed parts, I'm referring to like you are literally living in a grass hut in the middle of Africa and there's lions outside. Unless that's how your life is, none of us are getting eaten by lions. None of us are about to get stepped on by a mammoth. But our brain still processes fear in that way. And that fear of what if is by far one of the main things that hold people back. What if I don't get accepted to college? What if he rejects me? What if she doesn't like me? What if they make fun of me? What if this? What if that? But what if that person ends up marrying you? What if that job does hire you? What if you do get into Harvard? What if your business does take off? What if life goes better than you could have ever imagined? Because if my younger self met me now and saw how my life is, he wouldn't believe it. He wouldn't believe it. Even me 2 years ago, if you came to me 2 years ago and said, yeah, Lawrence, you're going to have an office, you're going to have this, you're going to have that, you're going to go on a podcast, this is going to happen, that's going to happen, that's going to happen. You're going to get invited to a conference. You're going to be on planes, you're going to be traveling, you're going to be doing this, you're going to be doing that. I would have been like, oh, me? Me? We think how great other people can be. We think about the Tony Robbins and the David Goggins and the these huge names, and we think, yeah, it could go good for them. But what about you? What about you? Your life can go so much better than you can even imagine. Because if you take the next 6 months, right? We're in July of 2025, right? So let's just say 5 months, right? From now until December. If you put that action in toward that goal you got, if you put that action in the gym, if you put that action in into your business, if you do what you need to do and you show up and you take action, life can go so much better than you could ever dream because of this one simple reason. What if it goes better than you could imagine? What if you do succeed? What if you succeed and become a multi-millionaire? What if you become a billionaire off of this business idea? What if you invent the next Facebook? What if you invent the next like revolutionary technology? What if you become the best father in your entire family? What if you change the bloodline? What if you become that person who shows your friends and family what is possible? What if you become an inspiration to your entire legacy? What if you become a stand up member of your community? What if that? What if it goes right? What if it goes better than you could ever thought? What if you stop holding yourself back and you just took a chance and you win? And you win big, and you win bigger than anyone in your family has ever won. What if you become the one that changed it all? What then? Because I personally am willing to say I'm that person. I'm the one in my family who is going to show them what is possible. I'm going to be the reason why we live different. I'm going to be the reason why it all changes. I'm going to be that one who just go down in the history books. There's going to be like photos of me on my great grandchildren's wall, and every time someone comes over their house, they're gonna be like, "Who's that? Who's that with the dreadlocks down his back? Who's that?" And they're gonna be like, "That's my great great grandpa Lawrence. He changed it for us. He the reason why we got generational wealth. He the reason why our minds different. He the reason why we live different. He the reason why our habits different. He is the one who changed it all." So who to say that can't be you? Who to say that you can't be the one who goes down in your family legacy? Who to say you can't be that bloodline breaker? Who to say that you can't be the one who makes it all happen better than you think you can? Because right now, you might be thinking, yeah, I can get to level 80. I can get to level 80 on this game. In this game of life, I'll be level 80. Yeah. Why not level 100? What if you end up being a level 180? What if you win so big that you don't even believe it? What if you gotta pinch yourself because you think you're dreaming? What if then? What if it all goes better than you ever thought? What if that? What if we stop worrying about all the ways it could go wrong and start allowing the space and the freedom for it to go right? What if that? What if it all works out bigger, better, faster than you could have ever imagined? What if? Food for thought. And with that said, I hope you have a wonderful, blessed, and lovely day. If you'd like to purchase my books, link in the description. Or if you'd like to bring me on your podcast or into your school youth organization for a speaking engagement, my email address is also in the description. And if you would like a one-on-one call with me to get some advice as well as some guidance, link in the description. Have a wonderful, blessed day. Go out there, make it happen. Be proud of yourself, and know it can all get better. You can achieve fantastic things. Oh, what if it goes wrong? What if it goes right? Bigger and better than you could have ever thought. Have a good one.